What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon, in just about 11 days. Anyways, Tesla is coming down right now. It's at about 1% in the pre-market. We're going to be approaching our 328 support most likely, especially if we don't hold above 336. I do anticipate some downside. We also have this gap to fill on Tesla. On SPY, we are dipping as well. We're down about almost 1% in the pre-market. The market's coming down. QQQ is down as well. If you look at it, it's currently down about 1.07%. So the market's dipping right now. We have a bearish catalyst that came out, at least for the shorter term. Why is the market dipping? Here's the answer. We have this news right here. And the market has essentially dipped a bit because of what's happening between Ukraine and Russia right now. There's some very, very serious news that's been going on involving both sides. There are rising geopolitical tensions that are going on, and things are just continuing to be very, very uh, serious. So what happened was Ukraine hit a Russian border city with a U.S.-made missile, and as a result, things could just continue to become a lot more tense. I personally just want peace, guys, but this is just, it's very sad. It's very, very serious. So now with the one action, there could be another reaction back and forth and back and forth. And this could escalate into something bigger. There's always that possibility. I hope that ends up not being the case, but this is very serious. And the market is dipping amidst this news, amidst these tensions that are rising. So just wanted to call that out. As far as Tesla news goes, Tesla's continuing to hint towards the fact that they could be developing a new, larger vehicle. There could be another one that could also be coming out. That could be something that's even larger than for over 4 people or the Model X. We saw this new looking model that they were showing us. That's very, very cool, but there is still some talk about how there could be a new vehicle coming out that's going to be controlled by humans. That is some very, very cool stuff. Musk was even tweeting this right here. The RoboVan is in development, but there's some other things too. So very, very cool stuff. I can't wait to see what Tesla gives us. They're getting a lot of recognition for this, and there's a lot of headlines coming out. So we'll see. That's just something that could be big for the future. Also, guys, we have some new news. We have some investors who are predicting Tesla will hit a $2 trillion market cap by 2025. That's about over $600 a share. Higher than that. That's bullish news, in my personal opinion, because they do see a lot of growth coming because of the AI sector. Despite the removal of tax incentives, I think AI is what's going to drive this a lot higher. And many people out there believe that that could just be, only the beginning of what's about to come. So it is possible Tesla continues to rally. I wouldn't rule out the 600s for next year, especially as Elon Musk is working alongside the soon-to-be president. And with his role coming together with developing AI, there could be a lot of people that start pricing in the robo-taxi much early on. And that's what could be fueling Tesla's road to not only 400, but potentially all the way up to like the 600s by next year. I'm seeing a lot of headlines about that, so I just want to call that out. For news about the markets, we just got some housing data. It's all very, very minor, nothing too serious. And then in terms of earnings, the two I'm going to talk about are Walmart and Lowe's for today. That's before market open. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Nvidia's earnings. That's going to be very important for the markets. Walmart did really, really well. They have hiked their outlook again, and they're saying that shoppers spend more outside the grocery aisles, which is a good piece of news. They beat on EPS with 58 cents adjusted. Revenue is also a beat at $169 billion, and they raised their guidance, which is why the share price of Walmart is in the green right now. However, for Lowe's, we have this news right here. They beat on earnings and hiked their guidance, but they still expect sales to fall this year, unfortunately. So that's the thing that ended up happening. So we got a nice beat on EPS of $2.89. They beat on revenue 20 billion, but they did raise their guidance a little bit. But the thing is, if you look at the year-over-year data, it's still a little bit weak, and that's why the share price is down. So that's it for all my analysis of data and earnings. Now let's just focus on the charts just for the last couple of minutes. So I think Tesla is going to be dipping because of the Russia-Ukraine news. I do anticipate we're going to be testing 328. We'll see if we reclaim 340 or not, but this is favoring 328. If that fails us, we could come down to fill this gap towards 320. Just keep that in mind, guys. Watch and see if 328 holds. If not, we could be filling that gap. So keep that in mind. We need to reclaim 340 to turn back up. Otherwise, there's a risk of some downside because of the geopolitical tensions. As far as SPY goes, we are looking a little bit more bearish. We're going to be watching this 583 support since we lost 585. If that does not hold us, I'm going to be looking for potentially 580, then all the way back down towards the gap fill. So this is the main gap. If you look at the daily on SPY, we are starting to fill a part of this gap. This gap goes all the way down to like the 577 area. So there might be a big dip coming to SPY, guys. We'll have to see if we could hold 583. If not, look for 580. And if that fails us, we go all the way down to 577 to fill the gap. There is a risk of that because of this geopolitical news. So be very, very mindful of that. We need to reclaim 588s to turn back up. Otherwise, I think we're going to most likely be getting closer to the lower 580s if that does not hold. ES is also dipping here. We need to reclaim at least 5880, then 5900 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're at risk of 5821. So I do see the risk of downside that perpetuates. Nvidia is kind of flat right now. It's going to be flat because of earnings. Earnings are going to help this hold up despite the downward pressure from the markets. Look for a test of 140. We'll see if we can hold above that. If we don't break past 141, we might just consolidate in the 140 area for now. So give it some time to develop. For the triple Q is also dipping right here. Notice that we have these two gaps. We have 500 as our resistance. We have to break that to turn back up. And then if we start dipping, we're looking at this main support around the 495 area. If that does not hold, I could see this coming all the way down to about 490, 491.75 to fill this gap to 492. So there might be a small dip on the QQQ. There is a risk of it dipping more because of geopolitical tensions. As far as Bitcoin goes, however, it's still holding up despite that. So it could be hitting 92,000 still because of some big news about how, the new upcoming president, Trump, his company could get involved in crypto in a lot of different ways. I'm not going to go over the full details, but that is what's still helping this to hold up. Apple is trying to push a little bit. It's now testing this resistance at 226. If that does not hold, if we can't get back above that, we are at risk of coming back down towards 225 and then 223.8. There might be a small dip on Apple, but it might try to bounce later on as we're still respecting an uptrend. So watch for that carefully. Looking at others such as the IWM, let me just give me 1 second. Let me draw out the 30 minutes time frame. So on the 30 minutes, we are looking a little bit weaker. If you guys look at this trend, we're on a bit of a downtrend right over here. So you could see that instead of getting a bounce, we're still continuing to fall. And we are not only filling the gap, but we could be approaching our 200 EMA at 223. So watch 225 and 223 as our supports. We need to try to reclaim 230 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're at risk of downside. Coin has like a double top here. It could dip towards 315 before it tries to bounce. Amazon's looking a little bit weaker here. We have to hold 200. Otherwise, we're at risk of coming back down to 198 and then 197.5. We have to also reclaim 203 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're at risk of downside for the 198s or below. Meta is testing 550. That does not hold us. We're looking for essentially 545. Microsoft, we need to reclaim 418. Otherwise, I do see a risk of us coming back down towards the 410 area. And Google's looking a little bit weaker. We need to reclaim 175, 176.5, excuse me. And then we could be, if we don't do that, we could be dipping to about 174 and consolidate. So just keep that in mind, guys. Anyways, those are your levels. Thank you all so much for listening. Unfortunately, we have this bad news that came out. So the market may get a temporary dip and that could slow Tesla down. I do have some bullish targets I'm seeing on the news for the next year for Tesla. But despite that, geopolitical tensions are getting in the way. Thank you all so much for listening. Watch support and resistance as I called at both levels, but just know the market does favor downside a bit more at the time of recording this. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours, and peace out.